That is a good question. Are we going for Fargo's?
And again, this comes from a person that admittedly um, doesn't have a problem with Fargo's.
It's been a long time since I've been there. I know I took my daughter there probably about like 5 or 6 years ago
Yeah.
for a birthday party.
Yeah, I think I remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
By her request, if I recall.
I think it was one of her friends was doing it there.
Oh,
It was
okay.
not for her birthday.
Oh, okay.
Her birthday was always Chuck E. Cheese, man.
Covered
So
up,
I've been to
okay.
Chuck E. Cheese
Okay.
plenty of fucking
Right.
times. I never need to go back. So
It's not great. It's
it's awful, Jeff.
it's
So the pizza is so bad. So it is so greasy.
I've had worse, man.
Well, I'm sure I've had worse at some point in time, but now she wanted to go back over and over and
Yeah.
over, and then
Yeah.
all our friends did, and it was just after a little while, it was like, I can't play this game anymore, man. I know how to get all the tickies out of this machine. So, but no, we did go to Fargo's once, and Fargo's definitely got a different vibe to it.
It does.
So,
It's worth visiting. Again, I don't love the pizza, but I mean, there's just
it's not
something
bad.
that says every now and then.
It's kind of in a rough part of town now, though, man. So,
Well, Fargo's stays, but town changes around
it
it.
changes around it, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the seas parting around, like an island.
It kind of is, man. Like, because I remember when we go there I remember going there quite a few times in elementary school, right? Because
Uh-huh.
it would be either on the way of things for a field trip or things
Mhm.
like that. And we'd stop there, and if you can remember, back then there used to be just like small businesses around it, and I mean,
I don't remember that far back, man.
okay,
So,
there would be uh like dishwasher repair stores and things
yeah.
like that.
Ye friendly Jewish cobbler. Yeah.
I don't remember him, but it wouldn't
Oh,
surprise me.
there's actually a guy. So he's like famous, like, well, I don't know. He's like not like, YouTube famous or anything, but everybody that I ask who's gotten their their shoes like redone,
Oh,
have gotten it done by this guy who's got this store that looks like something out of Harry Potter. Down on, yeah, dead serious,
what the
man.
hell are you talking about? What this is?
I have no, so I've asked like my sister-in-law, she's like, I got my soles reshoed, or my shoes resoled, kind of thing. I was like, oh, did you use the Jewish guy? And she's like, yeah, you know about him? Yeah. So, and he's just, I can't remember. He's down somewhere by the old power plant. And I went to his,
Down there?
yeah, way downtown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and I remember going there with my mother-in-law for some reason ages ago, where she's like, oh, we gotta stop in here. I think I was driving around or something.
Uh,
So, and I was like, okay. And, she had gotten her shoes redone. And then I've talked to like maybe a dozen people over the years who are like, oh, that Jewish guy. It's a real thing, man.
is this something that you only know of because like somebody shoulder tapped you into it? Like
I don't.
I won't find him in any directory. It's just
I have
you
no
got to
idea,
know.
man. It's one of those things where everybody knows where his shop is. He's the same guy. He's like 100 years old. So, and he's got a, and I mean, it's like his store is like something out of a Hoarders, episode.
Really?
It's just stacked with boxes of shoes and shit. And so, and that's like, it's one thing. It's like, that is that the guy with the store? And everybody's like, oh yeah, yeah, that's the guy.
Jewish guy, good guy.
Jewish guy, yeah, great guy. Doesn't speak very good English, but whatever.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is it? There are certain like town legends, I would say, that are sort of if you know, you know.
Right.
So if you've lived here long enough and you ride bikes or hike or anything like that, there's a part of Palmer Park you don't go to because it's not for you.
That's not true anymore, though. But it was.
Has it been?
Yeah, it's been cleaned up.
It's been sanitized.
You don't have to go to Palmer Park to enlist in gay sex anymore.
Okay.
So yes,
All right.
I know exactly what part of it you're talking about. So, but that became no longer a thing. Uh, for two reasons. Number one is because like drone technology,
All right.
and number two,
Yeah.
grinder is a thing. You
Okay.
don't need,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
you don't just if you're of that persuasion, you do not need to gather
Okay. Got
in
it.
in,
Got it.
in secret, but not so secret locations.
Well, there were a couple of spots. There was that. We have a couple of bars for that.
See, I always
well,
thought the Adam's apple was one, and you
it's
keep telling me
not.
it's not.
It's
I know,
not.
man. Yeah, so
it stays in business because the same like 15 people have been going there
yeah,
at 10 o'clock in the morning.
and just drink all my day for the day. Yeah, probably.
I'm telling you, man, it's anybody in the trades knows it, right?
Yeah, okay.
That's how I found out about it. That's how I asked like Charlie. He's like, "This place is a gay bar, right?" He's like, "No,
Oh, okay.
these are like some of the hardest dudes I know go to this place." Like, are you kidding me? It's like, yeah, these guys will go ahead and tie a couple on before work.
No,
Yeah, so
that's not a good thing. Yeah.
Patrick, this is just what life used to be
It's
like.
not like, yeah, no.
I would you consider Dragon Man's kind of a
Oh, Dragon
if
Man's
you know,
got
you
tons
know
of
thing?
lessons around him. He's not hard to find, man. He's got a YouTube channel that's enormous. So
YouTube channel, but that's what I'm saying is
no, bro, he's like famous in the United States. He's like one of our few local celebrities. So because he'll go and he'll go to every gun protest and bill signing and everything out there.
okay.
The Dragon Man, and he's got his fucking dragster that actually has got dragons that have flamethrowers coming out of their mouths.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so
All right.
he actually had a Discovery Channel series.
He did?
Yeah, that got canceled because it killed it because they did this special effect that killed his wife. So
Oh,
yes, so there's like supposed to be a special effect thing where they're supposed to run through a wall and then like it has like an explosion behind him.
yeah.
Okay, and someone didn't take something out of one of the explosive canisters and shot a Coke can through his wife's chest.
Jesus
Dead.
Christ.
Yes, this is a true story, man.
Just that's instant.
Dead.
Yeah,
Instant.
yeah,
Dead. Dead. So Discovery packed up all their shit, wrote him a great big ass check,
Yeah.
and never came back. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
so my dad grew up with him. So
That was the weirdest shit.
it
in
is the
world when
weirdest
you
shit.
told
My
me that.
dad grew up in the same neighborhood with him in New York. So yeah.
Well, he's Jewish, right?
Yeah, his name is Mel Bernstein.
Yeah, he's
The Dragon
Jewish.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
We used to see him at the bar, like every now and then.
Really?
So, yeah, he'd come. He liked the beer there. So, but when my brother was in charge of the Radio Shack over here, this is like 20 fucking years ago.
yeah.
That guy came in like every week,
For what?
just buying like fucking surveillance shit and stuff like that.
Really?
To monitor
Okay.
his property and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it was weird. So it said, right, yeah, he said, well, the guy knows his stuff, and so he'd leave me an order, and I'd order the shit. So it'd take a week to get there, and then he'd come back with more shit to order. So
All right.
yeah, I mean, if you think about it, this is kind of pre-Amazon, so sure.
It is. Yeah, I would argue at this point. You know what, actually, I don't think he would order his shit off Amazon now. I think there's probably different places that he'd order from.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Well, so all right. I consider him
He's
kind
famous. Yeah,
of a.
he's not a secret though. Yeah. Now, if you only lived here for like a couple years, you might not know about it.
That's what I'm saying. That's
But if you've been here for more than 5, you know about Dragon Man.
you do.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah.
I feel like the things that if you live here for 5 years, you hear people talk about very specific places. They talk about like, I don't know, like the Pueblo Reservoir and
Lake Pueblo, which claims many victims every year. That lake is dangerous, man. So,
of course the
you remember when the Pueblo Mall was the place to go when we were kids? That was the place with all the nice stores before they built all the outlets up in Castle Rock.
I never saw those places.
Oh man, Greg and his mother they would go down there at least like twice a year to
All
go
right.
buy nice shit. So, from brand name stores. So they took me a couple times, and it kicked the shit out of either of our malls at the time.
Did it?
Oh yeah, totally.
All right.
So yeah, it had way nicer stores in it. So it was much bigger too.
In the 80s? So
In the 80s.
well, all right. So were these sort of I don't want to say trendy places, but so would they have had like a Chess King or
Yeah,
places
stuff
like
like
that?
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, and then of course it had all the anchor stores in it too. So
Oh.
yeah, no, it was just a nice place. But yeah, that changed.
So the outlets of Castle Rock took care of that.
I think so. Yeah.
Because I remember going there when that place. Well, I don't want to say place. It's not. It seemed like a secret,
Yeah.
but
Secret right along the interstate.
oh man, that was the thing. Is when we actually went in there, there was this sense of.
Oh, good a deal.
It wasn't even like getting a deal. It was just this idea of you knew the value of certain things. So when you went into like the Nike store or whatever it was, like I know what these shoes cost. I presume I'll be getting these for $15.99, and it's just not true.
No, it's just not true. Yeah, it's just a place where you can get a lot different varieties in one place.
Which was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not any cheaper.
No.
Um, yeah, we used to pilgrimage up there every now and then. I can't remember what for. There was like one or two stores there that Mom did like to go to.
There was one place over there that I know that my parents went to a few times because they wanted expensive camera stuff.
Hmm. Yeah.
That much I can remember.
Oh, it was a camper store. There was they had a camper
okay.
store up there.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what it was. So, yeah, that's where my dad got some of his weird camping knickknacks. So,
Well, okay, so that's I would argue that at the time like Castle Rock there was a restaurant there called Sherry's and that was if you know kind of place.
yeah, I think it's still there.
It might be. It
Yeah,
might
it's
be.
downtown. Yeah.
And I remember there was a drink that you got there that you wouldn't get anywhere else. It was a certain kind of like iced tea that was super good and they just didn't have it anywhere else.
Yeah, I seem to vaguely recall that.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's just a
There was a good spaghetti place there too. So that's definitely still there. So
like is spaghetti in the name?
I think it might be. Yeah.
Like, spaghetti store.
Sure.
It just says
Yeah,
spaghetti.
it's spaghetti.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, it's not the spaghetti factory.
no, that's something different. That place is. They are awfully proud of their awful food.
They're the one here is terrible. So like I when I worked for the rail, I went to the original one in Omaha. It's divine.
Oh,
This thing here,
this it came from Omaha.
yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. So that's where the original one is, and they started franchising them out, and then they built it. What was that place before? Wasn't it
Oh,
Tilted Skirt or something? No.
No way. That was the Fox and the Hound.
Fox and the Hound.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, which that place was pretty bad after a while too. Yeah, their food was bad. So, but then so I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna get a spaghetti factory, and so went over there. So I was like, this is not what I remember it being, man. This is slimy, you know.
It is slimy, and then because there's a certain amount you're willing to pay for like slimy pasta, and it is single digits, but that is
single
not.
digits, yeah.
That is
It should come in a styrofoam thing that clips
styrofoam
together.
thing or
Yeah.
motherfuckers in a can, right? That's fine. So here's the thing: is if Mr. Boyardee himself wants to sell some slimy product, that's fine because it's like 99 cents. But that shit over there is really pricey,
Yeah.
and the food is not good.
It's not good. Yeah, no. No, man. See, but that's like everything here in this town lately has been fast food, fast food, fast food. So, you got the new
Degenerate, I know.
the new fancy fast food place. Like I drove by the Shake Shack the other day. If I hadn't gone to the Buc-ee's on the same day, I might have stopped in there because there was no fucking line. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. I thought for sure this place would be jammered up, but nope. They put everything up on InterQuest up there, and so it's like nothing's busy because there are so many fucking restaurants within 2 miles of each other.
Well,
It's
what
nuts.
I can promise you is whatever thing opened most recently is where the line is around the block.
I thought that was it. So, because that just opened a couple of weeks ago. So, but nope, there's still actually more cars at the In-N-Out.
Hey man,
So-
look, I get it. Well, and that's the thing. It eventually sorts itself out because
does.
I mean, if you can recall the first appearance of Krispy Kreme here in this city.
You were there that night.
Well, no, I wasn't there that night. But frankly, it seemed like the line started at Krispy Kreme next to the mall, stopped on North Carefree,
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, because there is this thing where people they have to check it out immediately,
Yeah.
and they will not wait. And the thing was, after a few months, it was no problem. You go down there and
Yeah.
just pick the time of day, and that's the thing. Maybe there's still
I knew the
enough
person who was the
people.
manager of that place.
They
So
probably made a mint at the
no,
beginning,
she said they lost money like fucking crazy.
even
So,
when they opened.
yeah. Well, she said it was great when they first
I was
opened.
say, yeah,
But she said that after a little while, it took too many people to run this place. People would just show up and grab a single box of donuts, which was like $10,
yeah,
kind of thing, and then they wouldn't come back. So, for a while because it's like, oh well, it's my turn to bring donuts in the office, kind of
yeah.
thing. And so, and she said, yeah, after like 6 months, they were just because they built that building, they financed the building,
Oh,
so
okay,
they
okay.
were paying a lease on it, and so they were just getting clobbered, and that's why they went to the gas station thing. So we're just
Gotcha.
giving a gas station. Now we got one back.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Yeah, I'll stop by there every now and then.
that's a much more modest building, though. So
Quite,
yeah,
yes.
it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the first one down by the Citadel, that was kind of a production.
It was, it was,
Yeah.
I don't know, what would you call it? Like what is that fucking redneck mecca? Is it Cabela's or
Oh, Cabela's, yeah.
yeah?
The
It was,
Bass Pro.
yeah,
The Shields, they're all the same. So
yeah.
I've never been to a Shields though.
I've only heard about it.
I hear it's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just redneck establishment.
Well, they're strongholds within Redneckistan.
Right,
I don't
yeah.
think they actually have a congressman, but
I think that's
I mean-
the one that actually comes from Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know, yeah. Because Cabela's came from Nebraska. So I used to drive by the original Cabela's on
That's right.
I-80.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember other people talking about it too,
It was like a man playground. So
which is exactly what it should be.
it had a big man-made lake that you could test boats
what you
out. and
told
shit.
me, yeah,
It
yeah.
was crazy. So yeah, it was nuts. They had a shooting range. So
They probably still do, yeah.
I don't know. I have not been there. I have not been that part of the country in a while. I came close like last week, I was like, "Ooh, I remember where Alt is." I'm not going that way.
I'm trying to think if there's any other just like local spots where this is what's happening. I mean, like
Well, Peter Piper Pizza is a good one. So that means you've been here a while. The same thing if you knew about Godfather's Pizza.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
If you know what Drifters is, so Drifters is kind of a secret thing, but
It was, but Drifters is kind of
it's not as good as some of the other places now.
well, it's fine, but truth be told, the thing that it's imitating is here.
It is here now.
Um,
Yeah, so it's not quite the same. And that thing, I gotta be blunt, that thing is a bitch to get in and out of. So it's
What, Drifters?
yeah, it's right on
Oh,
Garden
yeah.
of the Gods. It sucks.
Anything
So-
on that, frankly, on that street is kind of a pain in the ass.
It is, yeah.
You're
So-
either on that side of the road or you're not.
or you're not.
But crossing over to get there is shitty.
Oh, and it's terrible. Yeah. So
Now, I will say the more convenient place, and I remember when there was fucking dick all over there, is so Thursday mornings I have to drive, down Nevada or Awesome Bluffs, take that right turn at Nevada, and then take the next left into that shopping center. I remember when there was fucking nothing there.
I remember when there was like strip motels that were known
Yes.
for shootings.
Yes.
Yeah. That place is fleshed out now, man. It's got everything.
Yes.
That's where the other Costco is. So
There's a hardware store there. I mean, there's
they got everything there. So that's where Bonefish is, and that's where what's the other? There's a really popular Mexican place in there.
Well, Senor Manuel's is down there, right at the corner. But that
We talked about canned goods earlier.
man, you want to talk about a place that is essentially under new management.
I haven't been there
A
since.
radical change in the
Yeah.
way that they did things. You went there one day, 1 week, and this is some of the best shit you've ever eaten. You come here 2 weeks later,
Oh,
and yeah, it is. You can go out back and see a whole bunch of like Purina and Alpo cans in the fucking trash, man. That place fell the fuck off.
I remember going there with like high school classes, and for some reason with scout trips we would go there.
Scout trips?
I don't know. Somebody in the troop really liked that place. My dad
Okay.
would refuse to go there. So yes, and my dad loved Mexican food, but he had like his 3 restaurants that he loved.
Yeah.
That was not on the list, so we never went there.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, but that place is still there. So
It's still there.
somehow.
Yeah. Well, it's like the last 5 of its signs light bulbs are burning out. So it's-
Well, it's still right next to one of those stab, hotels. There's
Did you just call it a stab
it's a
hotel?
hotel.
I feel like no. I think that's the new distinction, man. It's like, where'd you go? It's like, oh, I had to sleep in a stab hotel last night.
Yeah, it was a little stabby.
Like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I mean, shit, dude, that whole place, what do they call that? It's called University Crossing now.
Yeah,
So
you're
we're
right.
talking
Yeah.
about that, man. I watched that place build up over the last 15 years, man. So.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, all through when I was going to school all that time, man. So we go down there, and they'd be something new. So we go check that one out, and then a couple weeks later, something else would open up down there. Go check that out. So, yeah.
Nope, that's where I get my fucking tee shots on first.
Tee shots?
Yeah.
I got tested for that not too long ago.
Yeah, are you good?
I'm good. Yeah. So, yeah. So apparently the last time I did it, it was just an off month or something.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Okay.
actually, because you mentioned that, I was like, oh yeah, you're right. It was really low last time, and I was like, well, that was probably like 5 years ago, and so I probably need that now too. And no, so I still need to take my blood pressure medicine though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I came clean on all that stuff. So
Yeah, no,
yeah.
no.
I don't have to worry about that. I mean, I can ruin things. I mean, I can get there.
You could get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're really
I have naturally high, stupidly high cholesterol. So
Was your whole family have it?
yes,
Every last one of
yeah,
you?
all of them. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, but no, the last time I got some blood work done, I was like, hey, throw that on there too. So I was like, okay, click. Yeah.
Well, so tomorrow I have to get retested. So I think it's been about like 6 weeks. So
How often do you get tested?
I think it's like every 6 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they do that with the blood test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I always get the big, where they suck out like 3 of those vials of blood out of me, and then have them do all the fucking tests. So
Well, I don't know how much they're going to take tomorrow. I know William sort of hit me up to this when the last time he had to cough up blood, and his doctor was talking to him. Was it has a lot to do with how much water you're drinking. So
really,
yeah, so what they were doing was for
what, your testosterone level?
no, getting the blood out. So
Oh yeah, if you don't drink enough,
yeah.
you got a
So
problem.
Will was stuck in there for like a while because evidently it was like basically like pumping like Smuckers through a tube.
Like ketchup. How does it run uphill?
Flicking it.
Yeah.
Squeeze, boy, squeeze.
Squeeze.
Yeah. So he kind of hyped me onto that, and I was like, I am not drinking close to enough water. So I've been doing that a lot more lately.
How much are you drinking?
A lot.
Yeah.
It's just basically any time that I'm in the kitchen, I stop by for something. The only problem is it does what it's supposed to.
Yeah, it flushes you out. So, and then you
Fucking pissing all the time, and that's
See,
not.
my doctor told me to knock that off. So she's like, stop beating up your kidneys with that. I was like, well, I'm supposed to drink water. She's like, no, not that much, dumbass. So she told me to get a water bottle that actually has the measurements on it. So like milliliters and liters and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, two of these today a day max. So she's like, otherwise you're gonna fuck up your kidneys. So I was like, okay, what if
That's
I get
new
thirsty?
idea, man. That's.
Huh?
I don't know.
That's
No,
what she
no
told.
doctor has ever told me that. I mean, I respect. This could be.
Hey
A
man,
huge
I've had
problem.
some things going on with my kidneys from
Yeah,
time
exactly.
to time. So
So
she's
that
like, knock
maybe.
that shit off. So she's like, you do not need to drink that much water. Trust your kidneys to do their job.
Well,
So
I mean, there are certain other things like that. So I do know that. So I'd always see these guys, like you'll see these fucking like lunatics at the gym, and you'll see dudes, and,
oh
and you'll
god,
see
yeah.
the girls that are walking around with like the 64-ounce fucking Welch's,
Oh yeah, I've seen that too.
and they're gonna chug the whole thing throughout the day. Like they're obviously going too far with it. And I know with some people, they have to do that because that's part of like the bulking routine. But I mean, there's
Yeah,
also
okay.
shit that you add to that too, because the thing that you don't want to do with that is you take that much basically unsalted water into the system, and that's gonna fuck up your um, electrolytes.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
So the people that are
That's
hard.
actually that's another reason why she told me to knock that off because I
There you
had
go.
low electrolytes.
That
She's
that that would be it. Yeah.
So, but she told me flat out. He was like, yeah, as a normal operating human being, you don't need more than 2 liters of water a day. So
2 liters. If you
it's a
think about
lot.
it, 2 liters is actually a bunch of
It
water.
is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Over the
yeah.
course of a day, it's like 4 big glasses. And so yeah, so
No, but again, I'm not one of those lunatics that's walking around with the fucking like milk jug.
oh god, those are my
Water,
students,
those
man.
are-
So, but that yeah, that's all prescriptive, so because they're trying to bulk up or
Or whatever. They're athletes.
they're athletes.
Somebody
So,
told them that this is
this is how you do it.
this is how you stay healthy or whatever.
Right.
Like, wow. I mean, you'd think that, but given how much you're drinking, you're actually just stretching your stomach out.
Correct. Yeah.
You're gonna be hungrier.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's fine. But yeah, I was realizing I wasn't drinking like much of any. So
Oh,
that was the problem.
I drink water pretty consistently, so
I was
I just
not.
get thirsty though. So yeah.
I don't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, I get
That's a
thirsty.
weird thing.
I get thirsty before I get hungry. So.
Do you okay, so here's the thing. Like, do you this was something that Will and I kind of like I noticed him the other day. Do you drink while you're eating?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Will doesn't.
Oh, that's weird.
And I don't either.
Why not? What do you just eat and then just walk away? So you don't need to wash it down with something?
All right, this is the weird thing, man, is like I'll eat the whole burrito and then I need a milk chaser. So it's
Oh, that's fine.
but what I understand is most people they eat a little bit,
And then drink?
sip, kind of like mix the things in, like
Depends on what I'm drinking. So, if it's like water, I don't sip water. So, yeah, they wash it down after a bit. But, yeah.
well, no, it's
If
weird.
he doesn't drink it all,
No,
that's kind of, yeah.
that dude needs water.
You need to cleanse the palate a little bit, man. So,
Well, that's the other part of it too. Is like that's what the coleslaw is for, right? Or whatever.
he saved the biscuit. That's like a Brillo pad.
You're supposed to like. It's the same thing with the ginger when you eat the sushi. Is you're supposed to eat this stuff because it actually cleanses the palate, so that the next thing that you eat comes in fresh. Same thing goes with what you're drinking and stuff like that. But,
Yeah, that's how I've always seen it. So,
but this is my family, dude. It's like we always ate. Me and Will always ate like the fucking communists just stole our land. And this is the first meal we've gotten our hands on.
yeah. No, my house wasn't like that. So,
I wish.
the reason was that
Yeah.
it's because both my parents were overweight. So your parents were skinny. So my parents were not. And so portion control was actually a thing. So,
Wait a minute. Oh, so they would impose that?
oh yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
on you?
Yes.
Oh,
It's like, you don't need to eat that many of those. So I was like, yeah, you're right, I don't. So,
oh man, my mother was very much on the tune of well, you're growing.
yeah, my mom saw through that. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing
She's
is,
like, you don't need Cheetos to grow. Yeah.
that should have been a good point. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I've done the research. Twizzlers aren't going to make you any taller. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, my parents were. It was not like. I mean, we were always conscious of money in our house too, and so like there would be things like we would be like, well, we need to get. We go to the commissary, get some Oreos and stuff like that. It's like, well, we're not going back for 2 fucking weeks. It's okay. So if you eat all of those in 2 days, you get none for the next 2 weeks.
Fair enough.
Yeah, kind of thing. And so we would do the same thing, especially when she was like making, I mean, even just like hot dogs. You had a max. You can have 2, kind of thing. So,
man, I gotta tell you, like the weirdest shit that I saw. So like, so 2 was where I stopped at dogs anyway. And,
yeah, me too. Yeah.
Frankly, William didn't like them anyway, so.
Oh, really?
Dogs were mine. My dad would have them occasionally.
Oh god, we had them all the time.
So yeah, I was totally about that life. When I went over to, if you're talking about the family of growing boys, I knew 3 of them, and I remember going over to their house, and they were like, "Oh well, hey Jeff, just go get yourself some hot dogs, right?"
Mm-hmm.
You go upstairs and you got like the tank that's like made from like 3 big lobsters,
Right, yeah.
and this thing is just jam packed with hot dogs. I'm like, how many did you make? All of them, and the guys had just been like, that's what that was dinner was. They just keep eating hot dogs.
Yeah.
I'd never seen any shit like that.
No, I've never seen that either.
These guys, they're still in good shape. I mean, they're all like, all these, it's just...
Everybody's different, man.
Yeah.
So, a lot of it has to do with how you grow up, and a lot of it has to do with just your genetics, and a lot of it has to do with habits. So,
yeah.
I mean, you talk about 3 different types of combinations right there, and millions of different permutations.
Yeah.
So, there you go. So...
That was just some shit. I was like, I've never seen anybody cook this many hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Without it being like a company.
Right, you're right, company.
And I'm not talking like 10 people.
Like
I'm talking about,
yeah. So,
no, I got you. What was it that you wanted to that you wanted to share with me the other day?
about what?
You told me that you had a story about.
Oh, we were talking about smoking. So.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So. We were talking about burners.
Oh yeah.
Well, and
yeah.
I remember all the trash can fires at the airport because of that.
Right.
Yeah. So, but the thing that so my father-in-law smoked for years.
Did he?
So yeah,
Wow.
before he was in the Navy. So
Oh, all right. That just.
So he'd smoke Camels and he'd rip the filters off. He's one of those guys.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, he quit like way before I met him. All right. So because my sister-in-law was like saw some DARE program. And it's like, I don't want my dad to die, kind of thing. And he actually quit because of that.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So, but anyway, years later, I was still smoking, and then there was that one year where they were gone for the year, and we lived in their house.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'd go out on his back deck and smoke. All right, and I had and he had an old school Weber grill with the tray underneath it. That catches the ash, the round one. The kettle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so this is the one that is this the one that people would put the like that the thing that you cook turkeys in the under
rotisserie?
Not the rotisserie, but the pan down there. It was made so that you could remove it and like chuck it.
No.
Okay.
That.
All right.
So the Weber grill had I think it had 3 holes in the bottom of it that you opened up. Okay, and the ash would come out, and there was an ash pan underneath it.
Okay.
Okay, so, and him being like the super engineer that he is, had that ash pan filled with like this black sand. Okay.
Oh.
So he'd catch and he could tell when there was ash on it, kind of thing. So I know. So,
All right.
But anyway, it made a great place to put out cigarettes. So, and I would go out there and I would clean them up every now and then, okay, because like, all right, it's not my house and stuff like that,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make sure I police all these butts up and stuff like that. And I thought spick and span the victimless crime. So for the longest time.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: is you don't realize how many cigarettes you smoke in a year. So, and even given that, all right, and even being really careful with them, there are always stragglers that get away. And
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and so anyway, so this is after we left and we were moving and we were, buying the house and stuff like that, and yada yada yada. And so this was like a couple of years after that. He decides to sell that house, and one of the things that he needs to do is rebuild that deck. And so he starts ripping up floorboards. And there are hundreds of cigarette butts that had blown away in the wind.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever, man.
Yeah.
And they were all mine. And you know what? To his credit, he didn't say shit. So,
Well, how'd you find out?
I went there one day.
Oh,
so
and they were
while he
there?
was working on it.
Oh.
Yeah. And he just looked at me, and he didn't say nothing. So he just went right back to work. And I was like, okay, got it. You miss him too, don't you?
It's what it is, man.
So, but he was cool about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it was one of those things you don't realize how many you go through in a year. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it is thousands of them. So,
That's correct.
yeah. So,
Thousand. Yeah, it's a lot.
it was a lot, man.
Especially depending on. Look, there are some people out there that, and I don't get them. This just is a different body chemistry or whatever that. They really can be. They can walk up and say like, "Hey, let me get one of those," and they'll smoke one, and they'll disappear, and they're fine.
Yeah.
And they don't say another word, or they have like one or two a day, right? And God bless them. I'm not picking on them for that being their condition. It's just that's what I always wanted. That would be sweet, where it's like, hey, you know what? I'm not worried about it. Why? Because I have one every 2 weeks. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, no,
It just
doesn't work.
hit that
Yeah,
way, man.
no, it doesn't work. So if I got them, I'd definitely smoke them. So
Well, I still have them in the house.
I don't have any.
Yeah,
I haven't had.
that was the thing. Like, if I couldn't actually keep them with me, then I wouldn't be done.
Oh no, I fell off the bandwagon. What, maybe like 3 years ago for about 2 months.
Did you?
Well, yeah, I quit drinking that time. So,
Oh.
yeah, I stopped drinking for a little while. I was like, well, if I'm not going to drink, so I'm going to give myself permission to go have a Camel. So,
Wow. All right.
and yeah, that was more than a couple of years. That was before COVID. Come to think of it,
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah, that was before COVID.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, yeah.
Well,
Not
you made it.
much before COVID. It might have been the fall before. Come to think of it,
What was going on then? What were you doing back then when you weren't?
they had a challenge there called Sober October, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll try it." So I'll just go.
Isn't that a variation of like no? I thought January was the.
There's like 4 of them. It's Dry July, Sober October, and yeah, Dry January, and then I don't know,
Some spring month.
some spring month.
Yeah.
I have no idea. So, but anyway, I said, "Okay, fuck it, I'll try it." So it was fine. So, but yeah, after like a week, I was like, this sucks. I gotta do something. So,
Well, this is.
and I've never been a guy who turns to like sweets or anything like that, or just like, started just eating Cheetos like crazy in order to say, it's always been something else. So,
I mean, I was trying to explain to Will, like, when, he had all this, like, nervous energy at first.
when he quit drinking.
Yeah, when he was, like,
Yeah.
when he was doing the solo project, I was
That's
like,
hard.
you got, well, yeah, it's hard. But, I mean, hey, kudos, for getting it done. This is why I told him, I was like, look, a lot of people like this, it's just part of their brain, man. So, like, if you find yourself, like, needing to, like, surf, right? Or, whatever it is where it's like, I gotta go surfing every day. I gotta, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Don't feel like there's something wrong with you. That's okay.
Yeah, it's
That's your brain trying to latch on to something else. And as long as it's
Sure.
healthy, no worries.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember, I just like being charged and just like having so much energy is like, oh man, all right, I gotta do this. I gotta get this energy out.
See, when I quit drinking for that time, and I've done that a couple times since then.
Oh.
Just like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm taking July off, fuck it,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I get hungry, so like,
Well, I can imagine.
yeah,
Yeah,
stupidly
well,
hungry.
because you,
So-
especially since you drink beer.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, so
So yeah, I mean, if you were just putting down like vodka or whatever, like I don't think
I
you'd
can't
be
do that.
half as hungry, man. No.
Dude, if I did that, I'd be dead. So I can't believe that, like yeah, hard liquor. No, man, I know my limit on that. So
Yeah, that would be one a day.
for me,
Two on a
I
celebration.
can do about 4. So
Well,
but I'm gonna need a ride home if I do that.
that's
So
that's clearly, but
if I do 5, that's when I start losing time. So
5's a lot, man.
5 shots?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I've seen people do a hell of a lot more than that. So
Well, yes, just because they. All right, again, that's. Remember that people can eat like 70 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
that's
That doesn't
true too.
mean.
Yeah. He's like a skinny little fucker too.
Right. That doesn't mean. Just because you've seen people do more.
Right.
Doesn't mean it's not a lot.
Yeah. No.
Dude, because you have to know this. You have to have known people that, like at home, they'd sit there and put away like 9 beers.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's just beer. So and like most of them are like Bud Lights and stuff. That's fine. I've done that. So
But they do it every day.
I don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. You know people that do that kind of stuff, and you say that, oh, well, I've seen people, drink more than that. It's
Right.
Well, yes, but it's still,
Right.
yeah.
No.
The same thing.
No, and I can't do one. If I do one, it's not even worth drinking at that point in time. It's just like I'll just go play The Witcher instead.
The problem is that
So,
this has been my problem with wine is like even if I
wine.
get is if I get drunk off it, I don't like it. I mean,
hate
because well, the other thing is I didn't enjoy the experience because I didn't like the way the crap tasted.
Wine? I'm not a big wine drinker. Yeah, it's been a long time since I even had a glass of wine. So I'm trying to remember the last time.
It's been years.
It's been a while. It has been years, but it's been a minute. I think maybe I had one with my in-laws. Although my father-in-law, he's graduated. He's a Cavassier guy now.
Is it?
Yeah, he likes the cognac. So, which I can get on board with.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's actually a really nice flavor.
Mm-hmm.
After you've had a few, I would argue that cognac is a weird taste the first time that you try it.
Yeah. Okay.
I would argue that because the first time that you have it, I don't think. Maybe that's just me. I didn't know what to expect, but
it was sweeter than I thought it was going to be. So,
yeah, and there's just like this there's a pinch to it. I don't know how to describe it.
It's a little pinchy.
Yeah, there's a pinch to it.
I like that. That's pinchy is a good way to put that. Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking. It's not punchy, it's pinchy.
Yeah. It's like good cheese.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't want to get drunk off it though. So.
Well, no, I mean,
it's a little sweet. You can tell when something's a little sweet. That's hangover medicine.
So where does would you say like SoCo ranks on that?
I do not touch that shit. It is made out of peaches, Jeff. It's awful.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I just thought it was nice.
Oh no, it's way too sweet. It tastes like licorice. So.
All right, I'm gonna take your word for it. In terms of licorice,
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, you don't partake?
No, I don't taste the licorice.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of black licorice, not the red stuff. So
Right. If it tasted like black licorice, then it would be that fucking
Rumplemintz or whatever it is. Jaeger.
Yeah, the thing with the with the animal and the cross on it.
I think that's Jaeger.
Jägermeister. Yeah.
I think that is licorice liqueur.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Man, I'm old. There's something I haven't had in a long time. So.
Yeah, because you're an adult.
Yeah, exactly. So I've had a Fireball more recently than I've.
I would say, I'm convinced that there's a certain segment of alcohols that are made for people under the age of 21.
That's one. Yeah.
Well, anything that is called like
Yeah.
Rumplemintz and Hot Damn and Cactus Juice and all those other like any kind of schnapps. I mean, like,
yeah, the kids don't drink though these days, man. So it's
what's
weird.
the thing?
I don't know. It's not drink. It's not booze though. So
They getting high?
maybe. So it's possible. I have no idea, man. So yeah.
I haven't asked them. I'd feel like such an old man. I'd be like,
Hey man,
so what are you guys drinking these days?
I have crossed that Rubicon, man. Probably the last 2 years. It's like, yeah, I'm the old guy. No, I get it. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like cool. Yes, I drink cheap beer. So
You?
yeah, so
You drink boutique beer?
no, I don't.
Yeah, you do. You get it.
Oh yeah, but I just drink the cold, the whatever their lager is.
You get it from a specialty brewer,
Yeah, I know, but I mean, if they serve Coors over there, I drink that. So,
but they don't sell Coors.
no, I go there because that's where my friends are.
Yes.
So, yes. So,
But you're drinking boutique beer.
okay, fine. You can call it boutique beer.
No, you're
So,
bougie.
I'm
Okay.
very bougie. I
Yeah.
will not deny
Accept
that.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
because you're not
That's why we call it the yacht club.
Yes.
Remember? It's the land yacht
Yes.
club. Yeah. So
the
filled with
landlocked
rich people.
state. Yeah.
Yeah, in a very landlocked state with no seafood.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So no, it's yeah. But, I mean, if they served Coors, I would totally drink that. So I don't need boutique beer. So
No, you don't need it.
no, it just happens.
You're still
to be
drinking
there.
it, though.
I do still drink it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, how much is a class?
I couldn't tell you. They just gave me the check and I signed it.
All right.
So yeah, I don't know.
All right.
It's so rando with those guys. So
Oh,
it depends on who the bar. So some of the bartenders don't even charge.
There you go. All right. Well, that's
and if the boss is there, then I get charged a lot. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
So and it's like, guys, don't worry about it. It all works out in the long run.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you know.
Well, we are people that oddly enough, at one point were given the keys to a bar and told to lock up when we're done.
It did happen.
I don't think a lot of people have had that experience in these days
It
and
happened
age.
to my
But
dad and my brother when they went out there.
Yeah?
So, yeah, it's a New York thing.
is it?
It's a New York thing. Yeah.
As long as somebody knows. Where do they say
Apparently.
like your dad and your brother? Where they say like put the keys here or
Yeah,
what?
they drop him back in the mail slot.
There you go.
So
All right.
yeah. So,
Okay.
that's all it was. So yeah, you guys are paid up, drink whatever you want.
Yeah.
So don't make a mess and drop the keys in the slot on the way out. So that was it.
I don't think a lot of people will get that experience.
You would definitely not get that here in Colorado.
Absolutely
People
not.
here are way too fucking paranoid. So,
Different atmosphere, man.
very, very different atmosphere. So,
Now, granted, what is the exchange that you have to make in order to get that? Well, your apartment starts at $5,000 a month, so
right, yeah,
you
it's
know,
the size of a good sized refrigerator box. Yeah,
it is like, well, yeah, because you go in there and say like, nice doghouse, but where's my apartment?
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I got it. No, it's said it's a different experience, but I hear you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a cool thing to have done at least once in my life.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. So we'll go back someday. So, but we promised my daughter, but
Oh, okay. Does she want to go?
eventually. Right now, she's in that like I want to spend as much time by myself as possible age. So,
All right.
yeah, it's fine. It's
All right.
perfectly normal.
Sure.
So, yeah, but then
I think I'm going through that right now.
are you?
Well, all right. So, for example, today, so today's the day where my dog goes through all of the procedures, right? So at this point, they're like, her major exercise is now the underwater treadmill. Right?
Okay.
So they put heavier things on her back leg. She walks in the water where that relieves it, but it, whatever, right? This is a foofy thing for dogs to be going through, but it's working for her, so I love
Good,
it.
yeah.
But the thing is, once it's all done, is she's tired and I'm tired.
Bedtime.
Yeah, we get home and she's like, because the thing is, when they're doing physical therapy with dogs and cats, I'd imagine, they do. I guess they put cats in that thing too. It was like they
Crazy.
seem like they would hate this, but
Depends on the cat, but yeah.
well, there are some cats that'll just hang out in the sink. They'll like bathe themselves.
Yes,
So
there are
I don't,
cats who
I
will
don't
do
know.
that.
It's
Yes.
it's utterly bizarre. But so with dogs, in order to keep them calm, they're just constantly giving them these goodies. Like the trick they showed me is, and I have these in my freezer now, is if you need the dog to be preoccupied with something, put a couple of cans of baby food in the freezer.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right? Take the lid off.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you're working on something, she's just
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Take them a while to get through it.
Yes. And today, like for example, they just clipped her nails, right? Now she doesn't. She hates that,
Yeah.
right? So much to the point. Well, and I don't like it either because since her fucking toenails are goddamn like diamond studded, if you go in there with the chopper, right, you don't feel right because you can't just like click, right?
Yeah.
You have to get both hands on it.
Oh,
and
wow.
and that's the thing is, you start to get nervous yourself.
Yeah, are you gonna chop off the quick? Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. And so I have the little grinder thing. It works, but it takes me like
takes a while.
25 minutes, right? And
We had
so
the grinder.
you have the grinder.
We had the grinder. So years and years ago, with Shadow Cat, she hated it because it was just constantly kicking back and stuff like that. Yeah, like literally hold her paw in that thing.
Yeah.
And then after a little while, you're getting bit by that cat. So we had to get rid of it. So
Well, so these guys, they took the Dremel out and they're hanging out and she's just licking the baby food and they had it done in like a minute
with
and
the
30
Dremel
seconds.
tool?
Yes.
That's interesting. That
Yes.
makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's faster.
way
The
faster.
one thing I have there is I've got I've got the biggest one that they sell with just like batteries, and it's not a Dremel, it's just the dog thing. Works okay, but I'm gonna order one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dremel tool's great.
Yeah.
So-
But yeah, so they knocked
Yeah,
out.
if you need cutting wheels for that, I got about 1,000 of them. So
You know what's funny is I had one before and I don't know where it went. So I have the accessories, but I don't have the tool anymore.
yeah,
I can't explain it.
I got two that I inherited from my dad. I think one of them was cooked though. So yeah, I think that's the trick. Is one of them was actually a handheld battery one, and the battery just grounded out after a while. So that was my dad's thing though. He'd always buy like, oh, this will be much more convenient, and then it's like actually it's gonna break in a year and a half because like just it's not corded. Yeah.
Was your dad a sucker?
He kind of was when it came to like new tools and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, and camper stuff. So yeah, it kind of was. So we had like the first solar panel to help you like charge things. It was lame, Jeff. It was like it had to be pointed directly at the sun at noon, and it would charge for about 5 fucking minutes. So yeah, he was kind of a sucker for some of those things. Rest his soul, but he was definitely like there was a little bit of chump in him.
No, man, you're talking about the things that, in hindsight, are so endearing, right?
Yeah.
Silly at the time, but yeah,
Very
it's
silly.
the shit that you enjoy.
Yeah. Well, and he was kind of a technophile too. So he was the first guy that I knew got in computers. So
Yeah.
then not for a job, just for funsies.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then he'd always be trying new things. So tinkering. So but
Yeah, I know that I was far worse than him. I don't recall a lot of things he got like suckered into. I was the worst one where it's like I'd see shit on TV and want to buy it.
oh yeah.
That's why I have those knives. That's why I have the me and my friends, we were buying these things. That's
Just
what
fun,
I tried the Rotato. That's the
I remember that thing, yeah.
it's a piece of crap.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Fucking garbage. Well, the truth, the fact is, there is actually like there's a restaurant quality one.
Yeah.
That one works
I
because that one's not fucking around. It's
right.
not- yeah.
See, and that's what my dad would do. He would buy something that it seemed good in principle, but he would buy the cheap one, thinking he's getting away
Yes.
with something.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Getting away with something.
Yeah.
That's the principle right there. Yes.
Yeah. Whereas like my in-laws are the exact opposite. So like my mother-in-law, she's got this huge motherfucking crank thing. okay, that like sucks onto the table with a suction cup.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's made out of like iron.
Yes.
Okay, and you stick the potato in there, and it's got this little hook on it,
Yep.
and you just like that. But it looks like something that they made in the Navy.
Yep.
You know,
But it works.
it works great.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like, oh, so you bought the good one.
It's
My dad would have gotten the Rotato.
that's exactly the trick. So
He would have
that's,
gotten the battery operated Rotato.
yeah, it's like, Dad, you should at least plug this thing in, man. It should.
He's like, no, I've got all these rechargeable batteries I gotta use.
We're gonna use these up. I know. No, I got you there, because yeah, that is the thing, is the principle actually works, and the thing about that big one is it actually it has a much bigger like blade to it.
Yeah, it's like a hook.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I said it doesn't. It takes a lot more of the potato off, but it works.
Yeah, but you get them clean real fast.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So then you just chop off the ends and you're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it's if you're making mashed potatoes for a small army, that's perfect. So
Now this is me. I also I don't believe in skinning the potatoes for mashed potatoes, but I understand in certain crowds that's heresy.
I like them both ways actually.
Yeah.
So depends on the meal. So like if I'm getting something with gravy in it, I don't like the skins. So if it's
Fair
gonna
enough.
if it's gonna be a gravy type meal like meatloaf, where I make gravy with that, I'll take the skins off. If it's just gonna be like we're having a ham steak tonight, so and I'm gonna throw a little cheese on this, then yeah, leave the skins in there. That's like a baked potato.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
So
I mean, I won't fight with it either way. It's
yeah, like they do mess my gut up though sometimes. So potato skins. So
that's the only place where good things are.
well, I get okay. Well, it'll make me shit like a motherfucker if I eat the wrong one.
Well, you're supposed to, yeah.
I don't like that.
That's
Jeff.
where all the fiber is.
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with fiber, man.
Evidently, you do.
Well, I mean, I don't need more of it. So
Evidently, you do.
why?
Well, because if potato skins are basically making you shit because they're cleaning you out,
Is that what that is?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no, I don't really have that much problem.
then yeah, you need a lot more.
No. Yeah, no, man. So things are nice and balanced right now. So if I get too far out of balance, that's when it gets messed up. So
Yeah, I'm telling you, the only good thing about potatoes is what's in the skin.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's not why I eat them. So I eat them as a gravy delivery vehicle.
Fine. No, it's just as far as there's nothing in there that can hurt you.
No, I know that.
Right.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
Now I understand that
as long as you wash them real good, you do have to scrub them down pretty good.
you can do that. Well, yeah.
There's poo on the outside of something.
I know. I know.
You know.
Do you think I'm an asshole? Do you think I actually?
Just go to bed 5 minutes earlier.
No. So do you think the thing is I just go like right to Safeway, buy one, take it home, and just like eat it?
like
Just
a
yes, yeah. Like put a fucking chopstick in it and call this a popsicle and just
put a nail through it.
Yes, exactly. Do you think that my dinner is me like cooking something over a spit or a trash can with a fire in it?
Well, not the first, but maybe. Yeah.
Come on, kids! It's marshmallow night.
Right, exactly. Gather around the fire.
No, God, that wash food.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, I gotcha. No, it's cool.
Yeah, sometimes I like to leave the skins on my baked potatoes too. So
Oh, I much prefer that. Yeah.
I've got to a point in time where I just rub in a little bit of olive oil and cover them in salt. So it's almost like having chips on the outside of your baked potato. It's kind of nice. So
Well, fair enough.
yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't know. I go pretty plain on this stuff, but that being said, I don't.
I don't make them that often. So
Well,
I get
I'm
kinda
one
dressed
guy,
up.
man. Like,
Oh yeah.
you throw away way more potatoes than you use. If you're
One guy, yeah, that's true. Although I found that there's a couple of things that I didn't. They'll last way longer if you take care of them. So and like do what the internet says, and when it says store in a cool, dry place, fucking means it. So
No, because they're a unique kind of tuber. So yeah.
Well, I found the same thing's true with onions. I was just keep onions in the fucking fridge, and then I was like, why do I have to keep throwing these things motherfuckers out? And it's actually no, you leave them out so they dry out a little bit.
Wow.
And then they'll last forever. And yeah, my mother-in-law taught me the same thing about lettuce. Lettuce is like the hardest thing for me to keep in my house. Okay.
Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, it goes bad. So
I don't buy the shit, man.
I use it in a lot of different things. Man.
Do you?
Oh yeah. I make a ton of different types of salads. So but and it's like once a week. And so if I don't use it, if I don't have tacos that week, then I've got half a head of lettuce that's going bad on me. So. But she's like, so the thing that I saw was you take a wet paper towel and you stick it on the thing and you wrap it up. All right. And she's like, that's dumb. So you want to take moisture out of it. And I was like, oh. Yeah. And so now I can get 2 weeks worth out of it.
That is specifically how you trap the bacteria.
I know.
In.
Yes. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, see all this pink on here? That's bad. And so I was like, oh, I'm just going to cut it off, man.
Well, it's the same thing that I tried to... The guys at this was a rig thing. You occasionally share like cooking techniques, because you're working with guys 12 hours and you're making your lunch and all this stuff in the little kitchen. And when I told them, I was like, when they cook something that they were going to save, right, and they'd put it right in their fridge, I'm like, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why?
No, you let it steam out for a little bit.
It's like you want that to get as close to room temperature as you can.
Yep.
Like. Why? Like, you ever notice when something's hot and you just could have put the lid on it? It's like, you know how there's all that water in there?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. Like, what happens to water when you... Oh.
Yeah, that's why when you open it up next time, it's got a 1/2 inch of oil slick on the top of it.
There is that.
Whatever it is.
And that's the stuff that makes it... it makes it go bad faster. And it also makes it taste like shit.
Yep.
That's correct.
Nope, you always let it go down to room temperature. So
whenever possible.
Yeah, whenever possible.
Sometimes you just have to put the thing in the fridge and go.
Yeah, that's true too.
It happens.
It happens.
It's like I can't leave this thing on the counter because that means I have to watch the dog.
Oh yeah, yoink.
Yes, that was that, man. And I checked on my dog insurance, and it has saved me $4,300 to date.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still need to do that. That's on my list.
I know it's a weird thing because you said with both pets it was like $110 or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is kind of pricey. It's just.
I'll have to go back and price it again. I got to think about that a little bit. So I've been in budgetary mode lately, just looking.
That's what you're telling me, man. I watched a video about that today.
What?
About basically, the video was basically like the internet has just made things worse.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. All the things that we bitch about, like the models of things, like especially when it came to two things. What is that fucking pricing model that Uber uses?
Were they the surge pricing?
Yes, that.
Yeah.
So they talked about that. They talked about.
Fuck, man, airlines have been doing that for decades. So it's like your ticket at fucking Thanksgiving is going to cost you twice what it would in February. So
absolutely, but the thing is, everybody knows that.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. And so Uber, if we do it during like busy traffic hours, fucking Wendy's is supposed to be doing that with their food. So
what?
Yeah, I saw this. So they're actually going
to.
Yes, I know this is freaking dumb. So, and people aren't going to put up with it, but the whole idea is like, all right, we get really busy at certain peaks during the day, like every fucking restaurant.
Yeah.
On the face of the planet. And so, well, if we charge people more during those, they're not going to get out of the drive-thru because they got to bring nuggies home to their kids. All right. So, and if we charge less for it at other times, people will come. So during those times and actually even it out a little bit. So I don't know if they're actually going to do this. It was just something that they had talked about doing. So, but it is insane. Dude, there is a full-blown rebellion going on against fast food right now. So,
what's this?
It's so expensive. It is cheaper to eat at fucking sit-down restaurants. So, like the whole Chili's thing I was telling you guys about, it's absolutely fucking true. You go to Chili's for $9.99, you get a great meal. You go to McDonald's for $9.99, I get some nuggies with that, So,
Well, this was okay. So these were the things that they were talking. This Wendy surge pricing thing, that's crazy to me. But all right, I'll hold on to that for right now. But so the things that they were talking about were they were really using Uber as the example on this in terms of, all right, so they have this, pricing model. Now they also have a subscription model.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, that's where they'd say, like, all right, so the subscription model was supposed to bypass all this. They used Amazon as an example on this as well, where...
with Prime, yeah.
Yeah, where they're like, all right, so the whole purpose of paying into Prime was to eliminate the cost of shipping. But also
even out the cost of shipping on their end too.
Well, so, okay, yeah, that too. But then that was the thing where they said, all right, well, if you're paying for the service, why does the service now have all these addendums that say, all right, you have to spend $25 to get this at this time? And that was the thing they were saying, like the entire model is based on wastage.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it's based upon so like their return policy is hilarious. So they basically just collect all the shit and throw it in a dumpster, and then let people buy those dumpsters. So yeah.
What?
Yeah, they don't actually send the shit back to whoever the retailer is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like lost airline luggage now. And why do they do it that way? Because it's so much fucking cheaper to just do it like that. So if you return something to Amazon, it goes back to our local distribution center. It goes in a dumpster. Okay, so along with a whole bunch of other shit that's been returned,
and
then they auction those things off to people who are like, "Yay! Look what I found in my Amazon dumpster." So yeah,
dude,
they do not send the shit back to the So if I bought some like Garfield comic book from Comic Book Guy 59 or whatever, he doesn't get it back. All right, if I send it back, all right, he's got his money, he's done. So as far as he's concerned. And Amazon handles my refund at that point in time. And it's all just because of the scale is so huge with them that it just makes more sense for them to do that than to actually dedicate a person to figure out, we got to send this back to Amazon guy 69, kind of thing, and box it up and get it back out there. No, things don't go out of those centers; they come in.
But okay, so with that, I presume that the makeup for that is whatever deal they have with the people that are selling on Amazon. So they're taking a bite out of their ass for that.
Amazon takes a bite out of everybody's ass, but it's not a high margin business, and so that's the thing is when you find a business that's if they're thinking along those lines of like, well, it's easier for us to throw the shit away or sell it to like in bulk to some guy who just wants to buy it. The truck guy, exactly. Dave, so right, it was Dave. Okay. Then you're obviously dealing with a business that is operating on the thinnest of margins because they'll look for wherever they can save pennies, they'll do it.
But that's the thing is it's the thinnest of margins, but they're their only competitor.
Well, it depends. So the other one would be like, Walmart is still a heavy duty competitor.
Oh, sure. But in terms of the exact same distribution network where instead of it coming to you go to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and they do deliveries now too. I mean, you can't do you can't use you can't send Instacart to Walmart. So they're like, no, you can't do it. You got to use our delivery service. And they're doing just as well, man. And those two companies are basically neck and neck in terms of retail. So but they're two different distribution channels. You're right. So you go to Walmart and you peruse. So, you go to Amazon and you just get what you want and they send it to you.
Well, and this was one of the other things that they showed about like food delivery where it's like, all right, so if you just order off McDonald's app, they're like the 20-piece McNuggies is $4, right? But if you order it off of, Uber Eats or something like that,
Grubhub,
it'll be $6
plus that makes sense.
Plus fee, plus, this. So it's like, but the thing is, that's where they were saying, like, there's this thing on there, and it's right. It just basically says, like, service fee, and it makes you think that that's their cut. But they actually have been cutting everything so that your $4 McNuggies, they've made, like, $13 off of by basically, adding this stuff to it.
They got to do it, man. I mean, and that's the whole thing. I mean, you like... fast food is such a labor-intensive business, so that
No,
I mean,
yeah.
and that's why they're just getting slaughtered. So on some of these things, I mean, I still can't believe you drive up to the Five Guys and there's 15 fucking people back there. That's impossible, dude. So they're doomed.
But what do you? I mean, and well, and what do you do in California where they said the minimum wage is $20?
Well, it's essentially $20 here. So I mean, if you go to any fast food restaurant here, they're going to pay you $20 an hour because that is the going rate for somebody
Which
who's
is what it takes to get.
that's what it takes to get applicants.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, like, and this is so.
You can't think that's normal though.
I think it's a good thing. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that it's normal, but I don't think it's bad. I mean, I think it's good that, unskilled labor is actually, getting a bigger chunk of the pie because it's been a big problem for the last 20 fucking years. So,
Well, I mean,
like, and I was asking my buddy Brandon who does floors, it's like, well, you looking for apprentices or anything? He's like, fuck that. He's like, I'm getting paid what I'm worth for the first time in my fucking life. So he's like, I got like 10 more years left of doing this before my knees fall off.
Yeah.
He's like, I got to make as much money as I can while the getting's good. And it's like, yeah, okay, makes sense, man. So, meanwhile, your laptop class is like, man,
God,
why can't I actually raise my consulting fees? Why can't I get paid more per word on a fucking box?
Oh, fuck you. Well, I mean, you're talking about the people who think that they're leading the labor revolution by making YouTube essays. I'm like, no, man, no, you're not.
Can't get paid for more per click.
Not.
Yeah,
No. Stop blaming YouTube. Stop blaming the algorithm.
Oh my gosh, yeah, there's so much of that going on, man. So I mean, it's coming to the point in time where, like, even
admit you're a pussy.
Admit you're a pussy, and that you actually need to get a real job. So I mean, YouTube is just going to be like we were talking about this the other night, man. It's going to be a wasteland of AI generated shit that looks way better than anything you did. So
well, and that's the thing is, it can check Wikipedia as well as you can.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so and the whole idea of being able to be some kind of influencer, I mean, it's just it doesn't work anymore. So it's not going to last.
Well,
so
and
it's not going to last.
Well, here's the funny thing is, and this goes to every market that's basically blown up in the same kind of 95 Theses way that we've talked about before here, where no, it's the same thing like with the music industry, where you say like, all right, well, the artists aren't getting the same deals from the record companies that they used to. Like, they're not.
No, they're not.
They're not. Well, okay, so the cool thing here is there's 50,000 times more choice, right? And given that your argument, quote unquote, before was that you were doing this about the art, you should be as happy as possible because your message wasn't diluted. You weren't asked to change who you are, right? You weren't brought in by a bunch of, record label rapists that are there to sit there and say like, all right, there's a kernel of you that we like, right?
Right, yeah.
We think this will sell, but we're gonna control every other aspect of your personality, blah 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 blah.
Right,
blah.
right.
So in terms of your artistic vision, you should be as happy as possible. Same thing with YouTube. There's no ABC executive saying like, "Oh no, you can't say this. This will make the people at DuPont furious." Oh my God!
No, there's none of that anymore.
No, you should be happier than a pig in shit because your platform is completely artistically up to you.
Yeah,
right?
it is. There's just no remuneration in it anymore. So,
No, these are the people that say like, but I deserve
right, yeah, no, you're not going to get that.
greater compensation for...
No, you don't deserve shit. Go out there and start turning wrenches. Learn how to drive a truck.
Well, that's the thing is okay, that's right. What is your part in this? Okay, so what do I take from your thing?
Right.
Like, what part in the cog here is like, so the sprockets don't come to you and then come to me as something else transformed, right? You're telling me that you deserve this much more for your opinions. Okay. There's a lot of those out there.
Right, yeah.
Why are yours...
buckets of those, yeah.
I've got tons of my own.
I've got lots.
Right? That's the meme there. It's like, no, we don't need opinions. We have opinions at home, right?
Yeah.
So why exactly do you think that you are so... And the fact that they're taking this anger out on, oh, this is AI's fault. It's like, fuck you. No, this is your
No,
fault.
it's your fault, man.
This
Yeah.
is your fault.
It's your fault. It's your fault for thinking you're. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I've had to go through and scrub myself of is any kind of like opinion-based content, just because it's like I'm not paying for this. I don't have to pay
Well,
for
if you're
this.
paying for it, right. If it's free, I mean,
Oh, if it's free,
yeah,
it's out there.
yeah.
That's fine. I mean, that's unavoidable.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, but it's gotten to the point in time. If I want news, I pay for news now. So, and then if it comes down to it, and it's like, wait a minute, this isn't actually news anymore. This is turning into opinion. Canceled. I'm out.
Right.
I don't need to pay for your opinion. In fact, you should pay me to read it.
Yes.
You should pay me to read your opinion.
There's absolutely that. Yes. I mean, there's the component of this where I'm well aware that it is my job, okay, as someone who doesn't pay for news. As I don't do that, it is my job to go through like the Shawshank sewer tunnel.
The shit tube.
I gotta swim through that, and I have to actually separate the nuggets of what's actually there, right, from basically the rest of the sewage,
Yeah.
right? I get that, and for me, that is part of the fun because you get to see the fucking lunatics that present this stuff as fact.
Yeah.
And you let it take you on this emotional roller coaster where you're like, oh, I'm outraged. Oh, this person's an asshole. Oh my God, what happened now, right? But if you don't want that, if you actually just want the news, you're right. There's a service for that.
Yeah, you should pay for it. Yeah. So
That's the convenience fee. That's the thing that's the difference between driving your trash to the dump every week
Right.
and having a guy come and get it. That's the service.
right, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Right.
It's,
I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong, man. This just could go a lot of different ways, It's like squeezing your own chickens to get to your eggs. Or going down to the come and go and picking up.
Okay, so like, you just let the chickens.
Right,
Like, you don't have to force the chickens.
you don't like launch them out.
You're not supposed to like apply pressure.
Right,
Like,
right.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing is it's a service. It's
Yeah. Well, the news has been dumb lately, so it's been
largely. I mean, it's a lot of lately, and I spent a little bit more time, today because I was sitting there in the office and stuff. Everything like right now is recycled. It's not. There's nothing breaking. It's just people like there's a dearth. So people are just kind of like digging through like the hack file or the crank file to look for other examples of like, oh, did you see what happened in this school district? It's like, yeah, this happened 6 months ago. You're making a big deal of it now. You're just out of news.
Just out of news. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I couldn't get too much decent news even out of the local news. So they're back to spending more time on the weather, and so that's good. So.
Pretty much.
In local sports, we're talking about local high school and homecoming and stuff, or prom season. That's what it was. And so, it's like, great. That's fine. That's like heartwarming. So
the larger movements are in play right now, but they're doing so quietly for the time being. Shit will explode, right? We
probably, yeah.
Especially as we get closer to election season. And I mean, yeah, you could sit there and look at like the stuff that would get on my nerves. So Colombia just announced they were going to
the country.
No, the school. So because of the Palestinian activists there and the Jewish chick who basically got her eye bashed in.
Gross.
Yeah. They went to all off campus. It's all remote learning.
Oh, great! Thanks for the COVID strike, guys. Yeah,
man,
that would get the rest of the students to riot at my school. So
for me, there's two things for me, especially like if I was one of the chumps paying for Columbia, like, so you could take the people who did this and say, you can't go to school here because you assaulted these people, and the rest of the people will be in normal classes.
Yeah.
But when you take the whole group and say, actually, all of you, for the safety.
It's the jelly
quality
donut,
development.
man. It's fucking jelly donut principle.
Oh, you're
So,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all over
that's right.
again. So, yeah, that's bullshit. So, I did see something. There was like a story or something. They had faculty out there protesting and stuff like that. It's like, fuck off, you guys. Come on. So,
Get over yourselves. I mean,
get over yourselves. But that's Columbia, man. Columbia is a weird place full of weird people. So,
you're not.
there's a lot of those Ivy Coast schools like that are just they are.
They seem like they hire for one-upsmanship.
They kind of do, but
Yeah.
they're what is it? They're greenhouse flowers, man. They only exist in a rich society. So,
All right.
yeah. If everything is fine, you get a Harvard that actually has like time to fight over who's its president going to be, and stuff like that, and that actually makes the national news. So it's just like and I hear guys talk about that. There's a couple guys that have had to like stop following. So because it's just like you guys don't know anything about what's going on in actual colleges in the United States. Shut the fuck up. So
Oh, you're using these 10 universities as your barometer.
yeah,
of
like
what's happening.
4 of them specifically.
Wow.
And anytime anybody mentions Brown, it's like, okay, we're done. So
No, because you can include some of the West Coast colleges in this.
you can, but it's
They're
like
not
they're not the same.
completely. Yeah.
Except for like that Evergreen College bullshit that happened a while ago
Yeah.
that Brett Weinstein has been whining about ever since. So yeah. It's like, well, if you're an actual academic, you'd gotten a better job out of that. So
Well,
whatever.
you got to remember this is the place that launched Jordan Peterson's whole persona.
What?
Was Evergreen College, wasn't it?
No, he was out of Toronto. So
What was okay? There's a. Well, I know that's where he's originally from. He's as Canadian as they get, but there was. Fuck! I thought it was. I'll have to look that up. It's something like that, but yeah, that's
something like that happened to him. Well, he was the guy who challenged pronoun usage in Canada.
Absolutely, yeah.
But that's different. Yeah, I don't think he had much to do with Evergreen College. So Evergreen College was all BLM stuff. So
it's fucking dumb.
it was different. So, but anyway, yeah. Other than that one, I mean, they'll talk about Berkeley and Stanford and stuff like that from time to time, but Stanford's a weird one, man, because it has like the most conservative think tank in the fucking planet lives there too. Yeah, it's weird, man.
It's weird.
So
kind of like what is that place in Chicago that like when you go to it, it's like the conservative economics.
oh, that's University
Mecca.
of Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's all falling out of favor now. Finally,
Is it?
Yeah, it really is.
Any particular reason?
Yeah. So it's like actually, you know what? Like you can't just deregulate everything. You can't just abolish the Fed. We kind of need them. Yeah. So like, it's just the libertarian economics is just it didn't really work. So
I feel like it worked for some people.
it worked great for some people. So, but nowadays, considering you can't find a fiscal conservative in either party, so they're definitely out there in wandering the wilderness. You're not going to hear people talking about budget cuts anytime soon, even though that needs to happen sooner rather than later.
Your fiscal conservatives are basically like your Tom Bombadils. You will find them like
They're not nearly as happy as that
guy. you will find one somewhere in the woods, but you will not find him
forging the food.
But you will not find him at the town square.
No,
they don't want to be found anymore.
No. Yeah, that one's a little bit. That one's. I mean, the school's probably still doing just fine and stuff like that. But that whole thing, like that's like your never Trump Republicans. They have no home, so they're out too.
You've been told to get in line. Guys, don't forget what happened 4 years ago, etc., etc.
They're out.
Yeah.
They don't have a home, so Yeah, like a lot of like even your fundamentalist Christians don't really have a home right now either, man. So That whole Reagan coalition of fiscal conservatives, military hawks, and Christians, they are all homeless. You know, at this point in time, they are not welcome in Donald Trump's party. So,
well, to be fair, I don't really like any of those groups.
oh, I don't mind the
Okay.
Christians, man. They're fine. So, I'm not
Well,
talking about like, you know, ban your video games type Christians, but just people.
but that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I mean the people who are actually like, I don't know. I mean, I think they're getting a little bit over their skis with some of the abortion stuff. And so, but
Yes,
you need to
this
knock
is-
that stuff off, man. Otherwise, Democrats will win. So, you know,
It's just hands off, man.
you gotta leave it for a year. Then you can talk about it next year. But
let God do what God's gonna do, man. That's
Yeah.
not up to you.
Yeah.
Well, same thing. Like, again, this is so. When I talk about Christians, obviously, I'm not talking about Christendom as a whole. I find that the contributions of this group, it's like 9-1 outweighs the negatives. I am talking about the ones that have mostly gone into hiding since the 90s because they realized they were doing more damage to the movement than good, right?
yeah,
So that sort of like preening,
those guys are
covering,
gone.
that's
Yeah,
the
those guys
stuff
are gone.
that look, they've been replaced.
Yeah.
That you have your fucking
Oh, the left has their own version of those guys.
yes, they're noisier and far more annoying, and
right. They don't bake good cookies.
they don't. They look like they fucking stink. I mean, this is just
Don't comb their hair.
don't comb their hair.
do
Again,
laundry.
this is the same thing I would say for like my Columbia staff if I were working with these people. I'd be like, "Excuse me, you were out there protesting with the children.
Right.
You're gone."
Yeah.
But this is the same thing. I would be at any of these schools if they came in and said, "Excuse me, you're not wearing a tie.
Oh.
Put one on or get out."
Yeah.
This is
yeah,
the whole
don't do
thing
that.
where it's like,
Yeah.
this is the cost. I don't care what your angle of expression is. If this is what our tuition costs, you will dress appropriately. If you have a problem with it, that's the door.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
It does not
Yeah,
in
it does not work
those
like that.
schools.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, I imagine that in probably 95% of them, you have professional expectations, and they will be met.
Oh yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
know, and your professional expectations are pretty easy to meet. And so,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But I mean campuses, even my campus and, you know, some of the other ones that I've been, you know, associated with over the years, they have their own like each one kind of has its own flavor to it where,
Sure.
you know, like and some of them, yeah, I mean,
That's the point, right?
yeah, some of them, yeah, you're supposed to kind of like stand with the students, and other ones, it's like, no, we're here to make sure that they get good jobs, and other
Right.
ones are like,
Right.
you know, oh, we're that place that nobody wants to go to, or that you know takes everybody who nobody else will take care of, kind of thing.
Right.
Everyone always
Right.
fucking different.
Yeah.
So it's just like high schools. So
Well, no, that seems like the point is to I was thinking the other day of that place where if you ever worked night shift or you were unemployed, you'd see about 1 million commercials for the education connection.
oh right,
And I feel like
get your degree. Oh no, that's National
no,
American
no,
University.
no. This is I'm not going to sing it here. It's fine. That's you'll remember on the way home. But it's the one with the waitress.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
And that was the thing is like you're supposed to look at all of the school opportunities available for you and say, where would I be the best fit?
Mhm.
Right? And I think that's the thing, like you're talking about. Those individual policies should make the difference on where people say, like, okay, this would be good for me.
Yeah, well, no, and schools do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of self-selection that goes in there, and so if a school is known as being a liberal mecca full of granola people, you know, and you're a liberal granola person, that's going to be on your list.
Absolutely. Or
Yeah.
if you are someone who sees that and says, no, I get my energy by bothering these people and
Right.
having them bother me, then yes, I want to go here.
Right.
I want to feel like a victim when I go to college.
Yeah.
Like, son, go somewhere where you'll learn something. What do you want to learn at this school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, and it's going to change a little bit, man. Enrollments are dropping through the floor, so And that has nothing to do with politics, right? It's just there's fewer students than there have been in previous years.
Well, my understanding is
So
that there is starting to be a understanding of what the ROI is, and it's either you're in this group where that is going to be valuable for you,
mhm.
or this is just going to be a decorative piece of paper.
Yeah, it's going to be an expensive 4-year
As a
vacation. Yeah,
matter of fact, it's actually sort of an opportunity cost that you would have towards going to
it is.
something more productive.
Yeah, but some of it's not that it's not as expensive as people think it is either. So, I mean, certain schools certainly are. But
The Ohio State University.
yeah, I don't know how much that one would be. So,
For a regular chump like me,
yeah.
an out-of-stater?
An out of stater would be a little bit more expensive, but if you wanted to go to the Ohio State University, well, first of all, now you'd be a non-trad student, so that you're gonna get charged less right off the bat. So you'd be like, "Well, I'm returning to school," So, but you graduated, so that'd be different. So
Graduated.
you graduated, and so now they'd be like,
I'm going to do some learning.
"I'm gonna do me some learning." So you have to go to graduate school, and graduate school is typically a little bit cheaper. So because it's not as intensive in terms of credit hours.
Right.
Even though the base rate is a little bit higher, but you want to be living on campus, so that's a major expense right there. But a lot of those things are coming down now, man. So, just because like, the actual like even here in Colorado, they've got a ban on a lot of the fees that they used to hand you.
Really?
Oh yeah, they clamped down on a bunch of those. They say that guys, that's bullshit. You're artificially raising tuition. So and then like books. I mean, if you have a professor who assigns like a $350 book, take a different class.
I would do that if it were my book
Right, yeah.
because I'm an asshole. Well, actually, no.
I knew one person who did that, and she didn't make a fucking penny off of it. So yeah. So and I wish that she had told me, it's like, haha, like I bathe myself in your money every night, haha, because she was kind of a bitch. So, but
Well, there's your answer right there.
but no, she told me, and this is like peer to peer, so she wasn't telling me as a student. So that yeah, actually, she makes very, very little off that, even though she assigns her own fucking book every semester. So,
No, I would look. I would do that as two things. Yes, if I could make even a dime off it, I would. But the other component of it is if that's the guidebook that I'm going to be using to teach the course, no problem.
that's why she wanted
No
it.
problem whatsoever. I'm like, hey, we're all on the same page. How do I know? You bought my fucking book.
I wrote the book.
Yes.
So,
Right.
yeah, and I did not like her book, but I had to teach out of her book a couple times. So
Was it a bad book?
no, it was just it was like, why are you making this harder than it needs to be? So, it's like, so any book that you try and get published as an academic, they're gonna want you to do like 16 chapters, okay?
Yeah.
Because there's 16 weeks in most semesters.
Okay.
So she had a couple things in there that was like, you're going the long way around to this to get another chapter out of this. So
so it just
it was like we could teach them something a little bit more advanced. So
so it was just it's that simple. It was just like too much bread, not enough peanut butter.
exactly,
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
yeah. Okay, no, that I completely understand. If it's just like fucking if like chapters 1 and 2 are just blank pages, like brainstorm your ideas here, like fuck you. Yeah, okay, I got it. But yeah, I mean, if you have that, and again, I had a professor that did that in college. He sold us his book. Great companion piece, and it matched everything that.
See, that's nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
it probably didn't cost $150. So
it was. It was not hardcover.
right.
It was.
Did it have 2 staples in it? Yeah.
No, you bought it with the bull clip on top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. There you go, yeah. That say it was spiral bound, wasn't it? Yeah.
Look, I would totally get on board with that too. It's like, so my quote unquote book is on sale at the bookstore here, and the reason it's like that is because I'm going to save you from doing the photocopying.
Right. Yeah. That's fine. So yes, I will pay $5 for that.
Yes, Because you had people at the student center do this.
Right.
Yeah, totally
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I've only known the one, so I don't think I had a professor who signed their own book. But so like back to my point, I mean, like a lot of that stuff is getting cheaper, and it's going to get cheaper because there's going to be fewer people doing it. So, and so the schools,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, the schools are going to start competing. We're already seeing that. Like people are ditching the school on the hill up there to go up to the mothership in Boulder now.
Really?
So, oh yeah, this school is struggling right now, man. They are bleeding students like
Why?
crazy. I don't know.
I thought the whole purpose was that I thought this place had unique programs, which made it.
Apparently, they're not that cool. I have no idea. So it is bleeding students, even worse than we are. So yeah,
Really?
yeah.
No.
So, they just they built out too much and spent too much money and have too many DEI directors. And they do.
I wouldn't know how to handle that in this day and age.
I don't know, man. I know some schools are telling those people to start packing their bags. So
Yes, there are. There are
Yeah.
some places that are doing that by choice and some by legislation. So,
oh really? I didn't know it was by law.
some places, yes. I believe Florida is
Oh.
one of those places.
DeSantis land.
I
God damn, man. Why did that guy burn out? Fuck. So
I agree with so much of what he does. I agree with so many of the targets that he's painted. It is just unfortunate that, for whatever reason, people glommed onto.
the Orange Menace. Yes.
I can't call him a menace because here's the thing. I lived through his last administration.
It was fine.
There was far less menace under his tutelage than currently.
You think so?
Yes.
The Menace?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't
Because,
know.
I mean, I can point there and say, like, all right, obviously anybody can point at this as, like, well, the president doesn't really control it. It's like, all right, well, here's the thing is, I'm just going to throw things out there and say,
I
all
agree
right,
with you on the border.
these things happened
That
during.
did happen.
So, border stuff didn't happen under his
No,
administration.
I think he'd be able to fix that pretty quick.
Correct, and I think it needs fixing. I can also say
Mayorkas.
the Russian invasion didn't happen under his.
I don't think he had anything to
But
do
that's the
with that.
thing. People will say yes. People will say
Yeah,
no. It's the same thing where you say, "Well, there's still the president." It's the same gas prices, right? You can watch one. You can watch the same journalist,
Yeah.
right, post at the same time of the year in 2020 versus 2021, and say, "President doesn't control gas prices." 2021, president controls gas prices. This is coming down,
I
right?
don't think gas prices are that much worse. So
Well, they are.
are they?
Yes.
Not much.
I don't remember the exact
Yeah,
percentage,
it
but
just
this came
doesn't
up
feel
just
that
the other
bad.
day. Well, because everything's more expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing is I can look at that and I can say, all right, so these things didn't happen under the last guy's presidency. There was no fucking, nonsense going on in Israel. I mean, this
I
is the
don't
stuff.
think Joe Biden
Again,
has anything to
I
do with
know,
it. Yeah.
I know, but this is the thing where whatever a person pins and says this happened under
Yeah.
this person's watch, right? Because right now this is the same thing. Like the Palestinian dickheads that are basically like ruining things in cities, right? And are saying it's your responsibility to do something about it. Why?
Yeah, exactly.
How?
Why? Yeah.
I,
Israel's a big boy. It can fight its own wars.
I don't
Yeah.
recall. It's like I don't recall.
Yeah.
Like this is not part of my family.
No. I
He
get
certainly doesn't live down the street, right? So this is the stuff like, well, you're being held accountable for it.
that. True.
I mean, so this is
well, actually, yeah. I mean, Hamas is being held accountable for it. So
Hamas should be held accountable for it.
yes, you'll get no. I mean, the sooner they bulldoze it and push it into the sea, they're getting
This is
there,
what you
man.
got.
They're
This
getting
is-
there. Yeah,
yeah.
they fuck around, find out. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So,
yeah. So
I don't know though, man. I mean, I
there's a two-state solution, but your state is in the water,
Is going to be in the water,
right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not convinced on the Ukraine thing. I think that dude is a malevolent actor, and he's going to keep going at it. So,
Can't disagree with
yeah, until he runs into Poland, and then we're going to get the big bang at that point in time.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, I think so.
This is where you see this ending?
No, I don't know. If it's like, in terms of like, I mean, well, it'll be one of two things at that point in time. It'll either be, they'll have to decide whether or not Article 31 actually holds any weight in NATO. Because I think the Polish are going to fight them anyway. So, because we did that to Iraq. And the rest of NATO didn't come with us. And so it's still legit. So, so I don't know, man.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's just like I've seen a couple of good pieces that really talked about like the fact that Poland is richer than Russia now. Vladimir Putin doesn't like this, so because he really doesn't like Poles. So
why?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but there's a lot of evidence back there to kind of support that in his time in East Germany, he saw the Polish as basically a shit people, and so Ukraine's one step. He needs to take Ukraine in order to actually fight Poland. So, because they border each other. So,
I have no idea what gain he would get from that.
What?
Fighting with the Polish.
Russia has always tried to actually dominate Poland. They did for most of our lives. So,
well, yeah, that's true.
So, definitely our fathers' lives.
Did he just think that was so cool that we should do it again?
I have no idea, man. This is what I'm telling. The guy's
right.
The guy is like he like so like Xi Jinping. I think that guy's actually rational. So that guy's like, okay,
I'm starting to think that he.
I think that guy's he might not have good people around him telling him the right things, but I actually don't think that he wants to start World War III. So
no, because he would have had a perfectly good opportunity.
When?
During the Russian conflict.
Yeah, I don't think he was ready for it. So
I don't. Well, I mean, my understanding is those guys, like the phone worked both ways. I believe that those guys were in communication, at some point.
Actually, I don't know about that. So I've heard other stories that like Putin straight up lied to him. So which is kind of what that guy does. So he did it to Donald Trump many times.
Yeah.
So he's still like, come on, man, can't we be cool? It's like, sure, that was a lie. Can I build a hotel here? It's like, yeah, we'll think about it. That was a lie.
My God.
So, yeah,
okay. Well,
dude, Putin lies to everybody. So, and I mean, it's consistent, and it's consistent, and it's almost predictable now. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but anyway. So yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about the China thing a little bit more. I mean, unless they get really stupid and they attack us in Guam, okay, we're not going to have World War III anytime soon.
No, that would be the worst.
That would be the stupidest idea. But that was something I was thinking about for a little while there because I was hearing some people say this. Like, well, you're not going to rob the bank if Roscoe and Enos are right across the street. That is true. Okay, so but they don't need really to do that. So Taiwan is not as strong as people think it is. TSMC and the chip manufacturing, the Japanese decided that, well, we can do that better now in Japan, where it's a lot safer. So a lot of that shit's been moving there. It's also moving to Arizona. So, it's going to be one of those things where, I don't think we're going to get into shooty bang bang war over that. So, but like Putin just like consistently, like there's been a couple different times where they try and like, negotiate something, and he's just like, why would I negotiate? I'm going to win. So, and it's like, oh, that's a bad attitude, man. Yeah, that's kind of rough.
Well, you're right, because there's a certain sensibility that you and I would have with this. Like, well, yes, the whole reason that we're doing this, even if you do win, right, you don't get it for free, right?
Right.
So here's the thing is, in this country, right, when soldiers die, like, people write their congressman. How about in your country? It's like
where we do like abduct people from India and put them in a fucking army, so that I don't have to go around St. Petersburg with the poster that says "Join now." So, right. Dude, it is so fucking. I mean,
it's medieval.
It really is. It's totally
like
medieval.
Conscripting peasants. Conscripting peasants. It is, man. It's like
they're not even yours. So I couldn't believe that when I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, they did what? You know, so
You're right. Okay, so my a lot of my thinking like comes with this is the same like hang up that you have where it's like it's 2024. Like,
right.
how is this happening?
But yeah,
I thought we were past this.
I know, man. It's just like, oh man, and some of the war crimes are just absolutely awful. So
But just stacking, yeah.
I had to get off Telegram because you see some stuff on there that's just like they did what to that guy? Oh fuck, really?
Oh, dude, it's
So I had to, yeah. I mean, I was poking around there for a little bit, and then I just got enough to war porn to the point in time it was like, yes, obviously those guys are Russians. Yes, obviously this is a 15-year-old Ukrainian kid who just happened to walk down the wrong fucking street. What are you doing sawing his head off with a hacksaw?
that's a
You
great
gotta
question.
be, yeah.
Yes.
It's like, what the
This is-
fuck is wrong with you?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is you're like this is the
It's 2024.
yes, I know, with you people. It's like, I know, and that's
Oh god, and these other things where they'll launch a rocket at a school and then they'll wait 15 minets and launch another one so it blows up the firefighters.
yep. That's,
Jesus Christ,
yep.
that Hitler did that. He's the guy who thought of that during the fucking blitz with the V2 rockets. So,
Dude,
yeah, I know.
Was it it was in to the north. It's north of Israel.
Hezbollah and Lebanon.
Lebanon, yeah, when there was that fertilizer explosion, right? If
Oh,
you go
God,
back on
yeah,
this,
yeah.
that was the thing that I heard that was awful about it was because the first explosion
Yep.
happened. I just those guys like they just lost so many first responders because of the second blast.
Yep, and it took like 15 minutes before that second blast. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And it was just, yeah, I saw a whole podcast thing on that.
I
It
was
was
I
actually
didn't
kinda,
even
like,
think
brutal.
about that. I'm like that.
But yeah, to do that on fucking purpose, man, it's just like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's like medieval is a good way to put it, man.
Well,
So
that's why we live here because we're like,
know.
all right. So if we did that, I can give you the names of about 15 people who would have to resign just because their soldiers did it,
they would, oh yeah,
It happened under their
yeah,
command.
absolutely, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Let
your
alone
president cannot order you to commit a war crime. So
Right,
it is not
right.
possible in the U.S. Army. So,
now in their situation, I believe that's like on the paper. It's like
if you signed a paper, you know, you know, yeah. So, but it's just bad, man. And it's going to go on for a long time. So, because he's not strong enough, he can't even take Kharkiv, which is 30 minutes from his border. He can't even fucking do it, but he's going to just keep trying. So, and it's like, yeah, this is just bad. So
it is
it's just bad. all
like
the way
at this
around.
point, it's water on a stone. It's like, all right,
Yeah, that's
well,
a good way to put it.
look, you might break this thing, but it is going to take you
I-
a while.
Dude, like you
We
created,
just
that's where
sent
they
them
invented partisan
billions.
warfare. Yeah, so-
I have checked their Wikipedia. They don't have a lot of other entries in there in terms of like useful contributions.
no, I mean, other than the fact that, like, yeah, they killed what? How many Nazis during World War II when they were overrun? Like all
bunch.
of them.
Yeah.
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 So you know, and it's like, and everybody in that country basically has an AK-47 and RP7. So,
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you guys gonna have a bad time. It's just gonna be absolutely bloody for a while. So,
Well, the only thing that you are guaranteeing at this point is that you are committing your region, right, to second and third and fourth and fifth and seventh and 10th and 14th place for every minute that this goes on.
Every minute
you are
this goes
asking this. You are
Yeah.
kicking your global ranking in everything.
I know, man, and it's so bad. Like the Russian economy is wrecked right now. So you think inflation is bad here? So it's
Oh, man, did I
Yeah.
hear some stories.
I bet, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, because you got contacts, don't you? So, but
I do.
yeah.
Now, I also know that was the thing is there were people there that were saying like these people are richer than ever.
oh, why? From what?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, because I guess there are people that are profiting off of this.
Oh, I guarantee it.
that's
man.
what
yeah,
I'm saying.
I
is
guarantee.
they said that they knew of people who were richer than ever because of what's going on.
Oh yeah, no, I believe that certainly. Like, yeah, like even
Russia's doing a lot of work with basically like their version of PMCs.
What is
mercenaries.
Oh yeah, they're all
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
there's a lot of mercenaries.
Yeah.
So that they've been hiring out, and so um, yeah, but that never works out either, man. So last time that got really close to ending this in an afternoon. So,
Mercenaries work if you can hire them all.
that's true. That's a good strategy.
I did that.
You did that. So,
And
but I don't think Putin's got like the kind of command of like the game mechanics that he did in order to get all the money. Yeah,
he doesn't. And on top of that, he doesn't have the same conviction I do to erase Islam from the map.
No, I don't think he does. So
I have a goal.
you did have a goal.
I have a dream.
Yeah.
I was going to stop 9/11.
You were going to Palestine.
I failed.
You failed.
Because the game stopped. It said, like, oh, you've hit this year, you're done.
Oh, okay.
But if I could well, basically, because at that point, I was essentially the person, well, actually, that's not true. I wasn't calling the Crusades. They were calling the Crusades on me.
Right, because you had formed your own church. So if I recall.
Correct. Yes. We worshipped like a bear, and like we grew like hallucinogenic flowers, and I don't know.
Sounds great.
I don't remember what my religion was, but it had kind of like a weird symbol to it. But yeah, that had to be done. Otherwise, I could not have a female child in charge.
Oh, right. Yeah, so you had to go non-Catholic. So,
That is correct. And the Pope was like, "The fuck you say?" I was like, "Sorry, man, if you can't recognize my daughter, right?" Because here's the thing. I'm not going to let, like, some dipshit from Iraq marry her.
Oh, yeah.
So
I remember that happened to my Irish clan that took over Jerusalem, and then I lost it. So
correct.
and then there were a bunch of like, O'Connors down there that were like
right, you're like, so what is the sect of like Muhammad O'Connors? What are all these? Yes.
Well, yeah, exactly. It was like Sheik O'Connor. What?
And you're like, this is a very interesting alternate history we live in,
Right.
but it's not the history I want.
No, we got to go back now. Yeah. Go back.
Yeah, that's what like, sorry, like, if your church is, and maybe that's it. Maybe I sold it to him as like being progressive, but
Yeah, if you're trying to wipe out Islam, I mean, an entire religion. I mean, this kind of is the genocide thing, I guess. So, but it's PK too. It's okay.
It wasn't. It wasn't the people I had a problem with.
Oh, you're getting rid of the rulers.
That's correct.
Okay,
if they would have just sworn fealty to my whatever like vegetable god,
Veggie Tales.
I mean, we weren't being nice about it. We were like peeling off like fingernails and shit, and
the oublet was full.
Yeah, with Frenchmen, people that were basically
Frenchies.
Well, because that was the thing. It's like, look, I have to get where the Islam is. You can either allow me safe passage and surrender, or I have to go through you.
Yeah.
And these guys were like, and so I was like, all right, full
exactly like that. Huh?
You're in jail, bitch.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. So Thursday, that other medieval game.
Thursday.
Thursday.
This Thursday.
I think it's this.
Like 2 days from now, Thursday.
Yeah, and it is. It's like I've been watching a couple videos. It's like Skylines, but for a medieval village, and your guys like travel like cars, and you have to build roads and shit, and then like
this could be exactly the kind of thing I'm into.
it might be, man. And then you do have armies in it, but they're all militia, so you give your dudes spears, and then like when bad guys come into your land, you go fight them off. So,
right.
But it's not like
it's not a conquest game. It's not a right?
No, it's not like here's France. Take it over.
Right.
It's like here's a map. It's got a couple regions on it. This one's yours. So make it nice. So
I could get on board with that. Make it. I haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from like dispensing people with bad attitudes, I have not made anything nice
in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one, it's like make it nice. Make it a nice place to live.
Right.
So and it's like, 15th century or 13th century Germany or wherever it is. It's like, yeah, that sounds like I can get on board with that.
All right.
We have to fight people occasionally, but not like every 5 fucking minutes. So,
Right.
I'm not playing against a computer
Right.
who's out checking me within the first 30 seconds. No, it's not like that.
Right.
It's like, no, these freaking English soccer hooligans showed up. They want to steal your eggs. So,
I caught him out there squeezing my chickens.
Right, yeah, they're gonna squeeze my chickens, man.
All right. Well, what's the name of that game one more time?
Manor Lords. Manor Lords. So, yeah, I think it's Thursday. So I got to get some work done tomorrow. So before the weekend hits, yeah. And I get ensconced in a new game. I'm still having a good time playing The Witcher, though, man. So
How far have you gotten?
I am through Skellige now. So
okay,
yeah, yeah. I didn't like Skellige towards the end. I was like, I want to leave.
Well, all right. So Skellige is all right. So it is antithetical in two ways to how I play that game.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Number one, it's islands. So,
it is islands, and I don't like getting wet in that game.
Okay, so those that is part of it. That is something that ruins my traversal. The other thing is this
straight line.
That is correct, and it is very, very difficult to make straight lines in the Skellige Isles.
Yeah.
Because of the mountains that just appear out of nowhere.
They're huge too.
The other thing, and this is where I have caused problems in the game because that pisses me off so much, is if you fuck with the geometry a little bit and do the jump rolling, you can get on top of a lot of those mountains to go directly over the path.
You're not using Roach to do this.
No.
Okay.
No. I want to make a straight line. If the horse sees a grade at 7%, like the sign, the hill sign, it's like no.
It's like it's not my contract.
Yeah. So I gotta tell you, I do most of the traveling on foot because of this. So yeah, if you do the sort of like, if you fuck with the terrain, jump at certain angles, use the roll, catch a little part, and do this, you can get over these mountains.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
In a lot of cases, right? The other problem though is, like if Geralt of Rivia was on the roof and was cleaning out his gutters.
Oh, right, yeah.
If he fell off there,
he's dead.
He's a dead man.
He's a dead man. Yeah, he's just like John Marston in water.
I mean, he'll take a lot of abuse, right?
Oh, sure. Like a giant will toss him around like a fucking rag doll for a couple minutes, but if he falls off a ladder, he's dead.
That's correct.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That is something so I didn't notice that until later on in the game. So, yeah, because I don't usually go in for a lot of the platformer puzzles and that.
Sure.
There's places where I can see one of those braziers up there. And I bet you there's something cool. I'm not going to try and get up there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's just not for you.
It's not for me.
You didn't love them in Dune Eternal either.
I hated them in Dune.
I thought they were great, but yeah,
some of them were fun, but there were some in that game that were so frustrating that it actually caused me to quit the game. So, because I was like, this is impossible. No man can do this.
It's fine. You and I have we have different things that tick our boxes that say I'm out.
That one,
and that's that kind of stuff. And then Skellige's like that. It's like I'm so sick of making you're forcing me to take the long way, and when you're not, you're putting water in between the places I need to go.
The water is really annoying. So the boats aren't that much fun. So they feel greasy. So but
well, yeah. I mean, there's only two things to do when you're in the boat: move the boat,
or don't
shoot at harpies.
Oh. Yeah, okay, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, you're either doing nothing, essentially, you're just driving.
Yeah, you're just driving.
Or you're being pestered by things you don't want to be pestered by.
Yeah, I just ignore them. So
sometimes you do. Sometimes they come in the water and it's like, God damn it, man.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes you can't. So, I don't know, though, man. So, I am so adverse to using anything in that game that is ranged weapon. So...
Oh, that's...
Actually, this time around, I've been using the bombs a lot more. So...
Yeah, I wasn't before.
Yeah.
Yeah, until like the end of the game. I'm like, well, these are actually kind of fun.
Yeah, if you use the right one on the right thing, it actually works really good.
Yeah.
The bestiaria is it's like my travel, it's like my AAA guide, so it's well worn.
My understanding is that's how you're supposed to play the game.
Yeah, well, I didn't do it that way that last time. This one, it was like, oh, really? So I put this purple schmutz on this, and
I'm so
hit
stupid.
that guy with, oh my god, I just chopped his arm off. This is great. So dismemberment's a thing. Oh, neat.
No, you're right. It's the same. It's the same like stupid like lunk-headed thing where it's like, oh well, I have this. It's like, well, why don't you just make the better version of this potion? You'll like it more.
Yeah.
Like, how do I do that? Oh, it's not hard. I just go in the menu.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Do I have stuff? Yes.
Yes.
If I don't, go get it.
Right.
In fact, a lot of people just sell it to you.
Most people just sell it to
Yeah.
you. Every now and then you find something that's like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, look.
So-
All right. So I will say there is a personal grief I have with this game where you come through and you say like, all right, why do I have an entire like Connect Fours set of goddamn blue mutagens, right? Why do I have right an entire book of green? I've got 2 reds.
I get 2 reds. Yeah, exactly. I've got more wraith-like ones than I do of reds. Yeah, I know. It's almost that's why I started giving up on the red ones. So this time I'm going blue on this one because it's just like, oh, the magic. Let me try some. Oh my god, I melted that man like in 2 seconds.
Are you doing the thing where you got like the sparkler coming out of your
Oh, I
hand, too?
love it.
Okay.
The Fountain of Doom. Yeah. He's like, I would love flamethrower hands, man.
Oh, yeah,
They're great.
you
It'd be
expect-
almost as good as synth lungs.
That's well, yeah. That's we
anyway.
can't talk about it because yeah, then we just become that like smoking vending machine.
Oh, right,
I
yeah.
love smoking.
I'm coming to your and/or restaurant and smoke.
Yeah,
I
that's,
thought it was a vending machine, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was his persona, right? The
Yeah.
chain smoker.
The chain smoker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so I will so in fanny pack news, right?
Oh.
This actually happened today. I will report on this, and I think it was funny. So I a while ago I got for when I would go jogging, I got one of these so it's like a pack that you're supposed to put like your wallet and your phone in.
Yeah,
It's supposed
yeah,
to-
yeah.
Okay. Now, my understanding now, right, is if you're a guy and you wear it across the shoulder, it's okay.
Really?
I was questioned about it.
By whom?
The ladies that work at the clinic, the dog clinic.
Okay.
Because I'd not worn those any other days, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wear a jacket today. It's nice out.
It is not, yeah.
I don't want to put this crap in my pockets. I don't need to. I'm going to put this stuff in here. I'm going to wear this
In my
across.
bandolier.
So, like, politely, it was like, what's that? And I was like, well, this is the thing that I hold my wallet and my cell phone in. Like, yeah. And I was like, I know what you're thinking. If you have a thin one and it goes around the shoulder, it's not effeminate.
I disagreed with you.
They disagreed with
Yeah,
me.
the women disagreed with you.
they were
okay,
like,
yeah,
it's cool that you think that.
right.
Yeah.
It's like, would you like a lollipop too? You know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, it was more along the lines of like, you seem like you like dick, bro. It's like, no, I don't. But thanks for your input, so I
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Because whatever people say, this is how they're judging me. I just don't know if I'm going to stop. Because it was super convenient.
Okay. You should get like a vest or something, you know?
No, Pat, not a vest.
I don't know.
I don't want a vest.
Okay. I've seen people wear those. Yeah.
What did you think when you saw it?
Huh?
What did you think when you
I
saw
was
it?
like, well, if I was running at night, I'd probably wear that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about during the day?
I didn't see one running.
And
I didn't see somebody wearing it during the day. So-
I think that maybe answered my question. All right, well, we'll see. I will test out this progressive bag in more places.
It's progressive, Ben.
And
Like,
see how my reaction. I'm getting a massage tomorrow. Let's see how the reaction is. I am getting my manhood shots on Thursday. We'll see what they have to say about it.
Yeah, go to that one. Yeah, and tell us about it.
I'll report.
Okay. I'm looking forward to this.
All right.
All right, I'm Pat.
I'm Jeremy.
I'm hitting the button.